but I guess it really depends on what you end up doing today, right? It might not even be necessary to view the screen. I suppose it really just depends on what you want to do.
Let's just be honest. Let's just do this.
But yeah, about Lloyd, you say bad. What? Nothing too bad, I hope. But yeah, about Lloyd. You
No,
say
I'm
bad,
not sick or anything.
No, not about Lloyd. Sorry, about Andy. I need to go to bed.
Oh.
It's,
I don't really know. I didn't ask any pressing questions.
no, you did.
I assume he's fine.
No.
One moment. Test.
No.
Test. Something.
There's not allowed to be words said here. A silent D&D party. Words said here. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I don't want
No, I have it. I have a delay. I have a 1 minute delay now. Yeah. No, I have it. Long delay. I have a 1 minute delay now. Yeah. Echo. No, I have it. Long delay. I have a 1 minute delay now. Yeah. I can hear myself 1 minute after. What the fuck? Long delay. I have a 1 minute delay. Bunny, it's Bunny from the past. Stay serious.
So we have something working then? Okay. Good. Did you stream it to YouTube or Twitch or something?
How do I shut that up? Because I have double echo now. C'est de la merde en boîte. This is poo poo in a box.
Okay. In that case, I suppose we can start. As last we left off.
Can't you just like actually also just screen share your screen then, so you could see what we're doing on a map if we end up doing anything on a map? But also that I guess you can start now, right?
Yeah, unless there's some other preparations that needs to be made for this.
So Shadow cannot join Fantasy Ground. It's not working. Seriously. Seriously. What was not clear in what I said? Seriously. 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 Bow, 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 bow.
Bow, bow, bow.
Bow, 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 bow.
But okay, so last we left off, you had managed to vanquish Mr. Dory and all of his minions within his ship on the outside of his warehouse, and you have learned some of his plans and also potential collaborators from some of the documents you've. And given that given the assault on the Sahuagin lair is ever so close, you decide to head back to Saltmarsh to convey with your allies and decide upon a course of action for the assault itself. Once in town, you decided to spend a sizable chunk of gold in Captain Sendros's shop, purchasing various assortments of magical items for your own benefit, and also speak to Eliander, one of the main organizers of the assault from the Salt Martian side, at the very least. And there you also offered off your vessel to be used as a transport vessel for soldiers to the Sahuagin lair. You also spoke briefly with Sildar Hallwinter, a previous quest giver, I suppose, of yours, a member of the Lord's Alliance, and the one that initially sent you to Saltmarsh. And having explored various trails you wanted to here in town, you were planning on heading to the Lizard Folk lair itself by means of magical transportation via plants. However, before that, because I think it would be terribly rude if I didn't give you this now, since you're heading away from the people that could give it to you. The Saltmarsh Council does not make you leave empty-handed. You are given tools to aid in your preparations and assault of the lair. So, if you actually specified you would be traveling there on your own, somebody would have given you this. And what you are given is 2 potions each. It's on loan. They make it perfectly clear it's on loan. So if you don't use it, you need to give it back. But you can use it in case it is relevant. So each of you get a potion of gaseous form, which allows you to transform into a cloud. That means you can move relatively undetected, and it would be difficult for anyone to interact with you if you want to travel via being a cloud. It's rather slow, but it does the trick. The other potion is a potion of invisibility, which obviously does what it says. It makes you invisible.
Nah.
So each of you are given these potions. I suppose I can add it to each of you. What? Sorry. I suppose this also means Droops gets them, because he's a character in your party.
Yay. And you mean? Bow, bow, bow.
Umin can't benefit from these potions. Sure.
Haha. Hey.
Sure. Umin also gets a pair.
I can give you, eh?
You somehow managed to convince them to give Umin a pair as well. you're given these potions to use
They take
in
them
whatever
back.
means you see necessary during the assault. If they're unused, you have to give them back. You're also given information that since your main job is the infiltration from the sea, you would discuss your plans further with the Queen of the Lizard Folk about how to conduct that assault specifically. So, I just need to get that out of the way, otherwise you wouldn't get this. So now, you can travel freely as you wish.
Everyone has everything they have then? They need to get? I guess we'll gather up some find Luna so we can transport via plants to the lizards.
So, you gather up, finding one of the larger trees here in town, and sip through its trunk, straight through another trunk in the Mare of the Dead Men, landing a fair bit out of the way from where the Lizard Folk lair is, maybe about 10 minutes of walking or something like that. As you're thrusted out into the damp swamp. And that takes her ability to use that this day.
She can no longer transport. I want to go back.
I need your power. I need more. Please.
Unfortunately, I am not able to do so. You have to wait till tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow is useful anyway, so.
What do you wish to do here then? So you've landed slightly outside of where the Lizard Folk stay.
This is going to be fun.
But like, where were you exactly? Mare the Dead Men is a bit north of the Lizard Folk, right?
Let's see. Don't I have a? I do have. So you're just dropped up a little bit to the northern side of where the lair is, where the token is placed on them, like slightly. It's a very short walk, but it's one of the large trees that you found earlier that Luna was able to transport to.
Was there any Lizard Folk patrolling here? And just suddenly see us just pop up.
There was a previously you have ran into patrols, but currently no, you have not run into a patrol as you arrived.
Oh, I can't race them home. We'll probably just head towards the lizards, I guess. Unless there's anything of note that is currently around us.
Nothing of note as you look around.
I'm racing Droop to the lizards.
Droop's attempt his best to keep up with you, but there's no chance. Unfortunately, he hasn't learned any spells to aid in his in this competition.
He can throw a rock at me.
Yeah. As you get closer, you're met with some of the patrols that are outside of the lair. You're welcomed for the one in your party that can speak Draconic. You're welcomed and informed that preparations are going well. It appears to be, as you walk a little around where the lizard folk are gathered here, there is a sense of excitement in the air. Like there's you get the sense that they're quite determined on what's about to happen. And briefly looking around, you can see considerably more lizard folk that are now armed and some of them training, even at this late hour, than you've seen before. If you head near the river itself, you would notice there are considerably more Locathas and Colets here, stationed here. Those are some of aquatic allies.
Locathas and what was the other race again?
Coalith. They're sort of the goblin, the orc/goblin version, underwater version. Yeah. Underwater versions of orcs, I think.
And the Coaliths were the frog people, right? Not
yeah,
like the semi-frog.
Locathas is the frog people.
The cute frog people.
Yeah, and they have a fair number of eels with them as well. Some quite large.
Do we spot the Locatha that we saved from?
Yeah, if you search long enough, you would find them.
Okay. I'll oh god, I forgot his name.
That makes two of us. Borgas. What's the?
And he had the pet. He also had an eel, or was it a different one? I think he had a different pet.
Had a giant eel. The giant eel was found dead.
Ah.
As you tried to escape out of the prison through the secret entrance, you found that the giant eel had died inside of the confined cell. So they unfortunately do not have an eel anymore.
Bokov. Bokov?
Oh, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
There's so much preparation going on. I'm happy to be of any aid that I can.
It's nice to see that you're looking a bit healthier as well again.
Regardless of my state, I want to beat back those foul creatures. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we'll for sure get them out of there. But it's good to see you either way, and hope we can see us after the battle maybe.
Yeah, see you on the other side.
See you on the other side indeed.
And they would also be able to sort of show you a little bit around about what the Locathar have gathered as well. If you would be interested at any point.
Besides an army of eels and giant eels.
They have a considerable army of giant eels and eels. They're mostly of a hunter sort of tribal tribal people. They don't have. What can I say? Their fighters aren't very highly trained. There are many, but they also don't know much magics. But they have a plethora of various sea creatures that they ally themselves with.
I guess most of them are probably also like bow people or spear people.
They actually use crossbows.
Yeah, crossbows.
You would get a recommendation to never cross a Lokatha for their shots. They aren't the most healthy ones. If you ever fight against one, they poison all of their bolts.
Sounds very familiar to most crossbows I've had shot at me so far. And then we had the orc people.
Yeah, Coliths.
We saved a few of them as well, didn't we?
Yes. No, actually.
Or was it a different race?
You saved a couple of hobgoblins and lizardfolk.
Ah, yeah. We've seen those before, though, didn't we?
Yeah, you saw them here at the lizardfolk lair.
Yeah.
They are fierce and brutal warriors. They don't number a ton, but they're still a formidable foe.
Mm-hmm. I assume they're mostly like frontliners.
Yeah, and they don't have any interest in talking to you as well. They appear to be rather secluded. No. They keep to themselves mostly.
Yeah.
It's good. On the picture, they seem to have knees.
They seem to have.
Knees and kneecap.
Oh. Perfect targets practice.
Targets! Yay!
Don't make an enemy out of everyone that has knees.
That would be a lot of enemies.
Exactly. Are those the only two that were basically training outside here in the river?
Those are the only people you find along the river. If you head a little bit out to the sea, you would find a fair number of merfolk, and also if you search long enough, you would find some aquatic elves as well.
Oh. With what was his name? Aquarius? Not Aquarius.
Oceanius.
In the good direction, just wrong.
You wouldn't find Oceanius outside, but if you venture within the halls of the lair itself, you would eventually stumble upon Oceanius as he's speaking to the sub-chief of the tribe. Why can't I remember that NPC's name?
So many names you have to remember here.
No, he wasn't originally a fighter, no. Yeah, you kind of dragged him through it. Or, well, he got himself captured. And then he decided to try to figure stuff out.
I don't remember he had like a crossbow and a dagger before or something like that. So... Whilst Lloyd is figuring out how this sub-chief is named.
I click on the wrong barracks. Gone. Where is the bloody name?
It's gone. Forever. It doesn't exist anymore.
There. Irthos was the sub-chief.
Okay. We've probably seen him before somewhere.
Yeah, you've seen him before. Always standing together with the Queen Ottokent.
Mhm.
He can be found in the drill hall.
The place we bombarded with items and weapons.
Yeah, they have managed to move the weapons elsewhere. If you search around long enough, you would find them in the armory that they have.
Well, they probably need to made a second armory for all the weapons.
It isn't particularly difficult to find the armor, though. But no, you haven't given them the weapons you got from Mr. Dory, no.
I'm not sure that's gonna be working. I don't think that's how mechanics work. You could probably make like some kind of spiked armor out of it, I guess.
Yeah, so where the black square is where the armory is.
Ah, yes, the black on black.
I need to change the color of my.
Yeah, I know. Like, you could just go wrong. That's still. Yeah, here it is.
Do you require my assistance?
Apparently, we have to reload the whole map that we've seen before.
Oh, you have. Oh, rip.
Shadow, you're not supposed to travel everywhere. You know what?
Melissa aid you.
Yeah, still you're running in the dark like, I know the place. Ah!
Oh, we do know the place.
Yeah.
You cannot know it by heart because you came once. Okay, 3 times.
We've been here for a few days as well before, so yeah.
Okay, I have a shitty memory, I'm sorry.
Oh, but they locked all the doors since we left.
With no shadow.
But okay. Oh wait, I can open the doors. Haha.
Can open most doors. There's a couple
Yeah.
you count.
It's all fine now. I think we kind of know what the map looks like. Just
Yeah.
kind of funny it unloaded itself for us. Oh.
So, what is it you wish to do?
Pleasant greeting. Act with
Shadow is
honor.
walking kilometers.
Speak with integrity.
Looking every nook and cranny. Go on. Bit
Um,
more right, bit more left. Yeah, there's a door there. Open it. Yeah, go on. Yeah. No, other way. I have the feeling I'm looking at a Batman game when I have nothing to do with. Wee. Come back.
Anyways,
Need to think that Andy does not have the image, so he has no clue what we're talking about. Come back. Hey Andy,
Right. Whilst Eric Bar is deciding to play Pac-Man, guess what? By itself. Oh,
Shadow is playing Pac-Man. I did nothing.
Shadow was exploring the map. You were playing Pac-Man.
Bow, bow, bow. Oh, it works! Bow, 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 bow. It's 1v8 to Cherry. Bow, bow, bow. Wow, 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 wow.
I guess I'll just find someone that seems important enough to mention that we've arrived.
Mm-hmm. I'm just opening all of the doors that you've been at.
We can actually go places.
Yeah, and then we have the second map as well, just for completeness sake.
Ah, the completely black map.
Yeah, we have the second map, shows a black square.
There we go.
Pac-Man is in the toilet. She will come back in a minute.
But yes, you're able to inform someone of your arrival.
Oh my god, I'm in targeting mode again.
Oh, need to. There you go.
Yeah. We.
Oh, I haven't opened those.
Okay. Line.
Yes.
I'm stuck in the wall. Okay, no, I'm not.
But shortly after informing someone that you have arrived, Mr. Zorev would show up, the elderly scribe here.
Yeah.
He would meet you together with let's see. Why is this closed? It's supposed to be open. Okay. You also explore down here.
Whee!
Together with Ottokant, the queen.
Oh, I thought the queen would be busy talking.
It's good to see that you have arrived. Coming, Ottokant. We probably have some matters to discuss.
It's probably handy to at least discuss our plan of attack before we head in.
Yes. I've heard you've delegated yourself to spearhead the attack together with us.
Well, we know what we kind of know what lies below at least, so it seems a little bit handier to have us with you.
So, in that case, we must consider then how to best occupy the Shahogan forces. Do you have any proposed methods?
Obviously, the more that we can lure out, so it's less cluttered inside, would be handy. Because there is going to be that giant shark we have to worry about as well. The two-headed shark, or whatever the fuck it might be.
I've been informed you wish to go attack at its heart, correct?
I'm gonna assume the shark doesn't swim out of its lair. At least, I don't think it swam out of us last time we were there. So the less Shahogan are around the shark, the easier it is for us to actually fight it, probably. Have we learned anything more since last time about a potential cause what the two-headed shark might be?
Could you say that again?
Have we learned anything more about what the two-headed shark might be?
Oh, what it might be. Okay. Yeah. We believe it to be a avatar of the foul god. The Shahagans, they worship a shark called Sekola. That's the best we can ascertain. No such foul creation is known to us. Seems like the most logical explanation.
Okay. From general understanding, avatar of gods are usually quite dangerous, right?
In general, yes.
Cool.
And Mr. Soryev says it does depend on the fervent prayer and means of creating such an avatar. It can't be easy to sustain its existence. It is unfortunately magics that I'm not enough well versed in. But I would believe it is nowhere near the power level of God sent avatar from other deities.
So, assuming that's true, I guess we can just assume it's a minor avatar of a god. Or something along the lines.
Probably reasonable.
Either way, minor or major, you probably don't want to fight the avatar or the shark together with a million sharkmen. So the more that we can lure away from it, the easier it is for us to surround and kill it.
What do you propose then?
I think it was our plan to have our party and maybe some of the stronger people fight the avatar probably. And then try to have a decent advantage with numbers compared to them around the base and water.
Antigon sort of leans back against the wall and thinks for a bit. Do you wish to strike at it then before the assault or during it? Suppose the assault has already started. Most of the forces can be preoccupied with others to not come to its avatar's aid.
I think during is this best case. Obviously, as long as we can keep most of our people safe. But we do need to lure some of them out. Because if we strike before the assault and they notice we're messing around with their avatar friend, they'll probably send everyone that's in the water right there at us.
Perhaps then, if I might suggest a course of action.
Of course.
We'll have our Martian allies spearhead a small contingent at the first level to draw some of the Shahagans up to meet against their foes there. Then we can send the lot of you in to cause a commotion on the lower floor.
Yeah.
All you need to do is to somehow drag some of their forces outside. A quick mission, doesn't have to be much. Enough to cause some concern for outer defenses. Our forces will then press on against theirs, keeping most of them busy while you can sneak in and deal with your prey.
Yeah. Sounds good. So we go in, lure stuff out, and go back in.
How you would lure stuff out, I would not know. I trust you well enough to be able to come up with a plan, but
I'm sure leaving around a lot of noise or slang when a couple Shahogin probably lures them out enough. I would imagine. Yeah, it sounds like oh.
That would allow us to engage the Shahogin forces, at least initially, out in the open, allowing for us to use some of the advantage of our vessels that would come, rather than fighting in enclosed spaces, attempting to funnel through thin corridors.
Yeah.
Gives an advantage at the start, and probably causes considerable panic to leave some of the upper levels for you, mostly Baron.
As long as we spread them out enough and indeed not have all of them at the same level, so none of us get overwhelmed by like all of the numbers.
As for anyone coming with you to fight the Avatar, I would not know of any among my forces that would be able to aid you in that matter.
Maybe some people to hold the guard against reinforcements of the Shahogin?
It depends on how you want to conduct this. In any such open conflicts, we can secure positions inside and allow you passage to the upper floor. But if you wish to go behind enemy lines, so to speak, then you would be on your own.
As far as I remember, the shark was at the bottom floor, right?
It's on the second floor.
Second floor. There's one more floor below it.
Yeah, so you have the top floor that's above water,
the one
and then you have the second floor,
people.
which is the middle, and then the third floor, which is where like the main battle happened. The underwater forces.
So the second floor is where the arena was?
No, that was the third floor.
Okay. Then Shadow and Lomro's last time went up a floor to find out where the shark was and then back down?
Yes, so you entered from the third floor, or the lowest level, essentially. There are three levels. You entered from the lowest level, snooped around in the corridors, went up one level to the middle level. There you snooped around a little bit and found the shark, and then you headed down from the lower level.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, and initially when you enter this complex first, when you fed some of those slaves, right?
Yeah,
you went through
the
the
top
upper
floor.
level.
Yeah. Okay. There was not a big room, like in the second level that we remember, right? It was basically just like smaller rooms.
Let me find them.
At least as far as Lomros and Shadow I've seen.
So...
black map.
I'll move Droop around, because you haven't seen all of this.
Yeah.
So you moved slightly in here, so inside this room. Then you walked up here and didn't walk any further. You didn't see much more from here.
Yeah.
These are a bunch of pillars, and there's a statue. near the middle here, but you didn't look at the significance of it. Then you headed down here, sneaking along this corridor. I believe you peeked into this room, which had a number of Shahogans in it, so you didn't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You headed down this corridor, so a large door here, went up here, all of these doors were closed. And when you got here is when you saw the big shark inside of this
Okay.
room.
It's a decent sized room.
And then headed back out the same way.
Yeah.
So this is all you were able to learn of when you initially explored this floor.
Yeah. I guess the room the shark was in was decently sized then. At least it has some cover with the pillows and cage for our party. Because otherwise I don't see much that we know of. Otherwise we would have to lure the shark down a level into the arena. But that's gonna be harder.
Okay. Let's see. The third level you did explore.
Let's go, Octopussy.
Can you see where Droop is?
No, at the bottom. Okay, I see it now.
Oh wait, there's something wrong.
Yeah, outside the map, I think.
No, there's something wrong with the mask. Yeah. Remove mask. There we
Okay.
go. Okay, so this is as far as you got technically. You didn't see anything below that. So you got here. You saw some Shahogans down there.
Mm-hmm.
You saw some Shahogans inside this room. You saw the massive arena.
Yeah.
That was there.
Mhm.
And then you explored both of these ends, led up to a room with a staircase. And then you saw this thing. Have I turned off walls? Use walls. There we go. Yeah, I turned off walls. Oops. So this is where the staircase is.
Yeah. Okay, so either this is more to our party then, because assuming we're fighting the shark, we would either fight it in the room the shark was in, or we would somehow have to find a way to lure it down into the arena. The problem is that there's also a lot of people fighting there. I guess we're probably fighting the shark in the shark room itself. Yes? No? I guess that's a yes. Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna fight the two-headed shark that you saw with Lumros and ran away from. Yeah, just to say that we have the map. Basically, what I'm thinking of is that we need some space to fight the shark so we don't all end up clumped up and get fireballed to death like last time we fought someone. Or at least have some space to move around. Which means that the pillars and stuff at least help from direct, like, straight attacks. Obviously, fireballs go through them. The room is decent size enough, or we somehow found a way to get the shark into the arena, which would be bigger. But the problem is that dragging the shark along is maybe not going to help because everyone is fighting in the bottom floor. So I guess the best thing that I can think of is that some of the forces from us at least help defend the staircase. So we don't end up getting like flanked from all the Shahogan coming upstairs. Yeah, because no one is on the no one is on the map there. Oh, there was like the pillar room that you didn't explore right next to the staircase. And then there was like some other room there. Another room at the bottom that you guys didn't go in. And then you found the shark room as well. Yeah. Alright. I think we're just gonna fight the shark in the shark room then. If he's there.
Okay, so just so I understood it correctly, you want to wait till the forces have fought all the way to secure this staircase where Droop currently is?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good to know. So do you want to how do you then want to enter in and cause some mayhem then to drag out some of the forces?
Mm. Yeah, there's the cave.
You did find a secret entrance, yes. The secret entrance goes through here, through the back of the back of a cell.
Yeah, from a cave. We
That
could
gives you,
enter
like, a
there. I'll probably make mayhem in the arena. Because I'm going to assume a majority of the Shogun are in the arenas. Because they love watching people fight, right?
Yeah, from your limited experience with them, they do.
So if we cause enough chaos, somehow lure the Shogun all the way out, or at least know that we're there, and lure them out of the things, then we can also head back in. We can actually... We could sneak some people in the secret entrance as well before, so that way we don't have to have the whole forces at the staircase, just enough that it's safe. And we don't end up getting swarmed by like 50 Shogun from behind once we're fighting the shark. Otherwise, it's basically occupying the left side of the bottom floor at the most that we can. But yeah, obviously, I'm not the tactical genius of our party. I'm the stand-in. Yeah, I think that's probably the best case that we have. Securing a decent chance at fighting the minor avatar of Shark God. Which also then asking, do I know anything of Avatar of Gods?
Make a religion check. Usually, gods can't interact directly with the world. They can't directly enter the prime material plane because of the divine gate that has been erected, preventing gods from entering the world.
Yeah.
So means they have of influencing the world is either through their followers or some limited influence by some of its representatives, right? And generally, avatars are incredibly powerful as they're direct representations of the god. But you do know that Secula isn't one of the prime deities, it's not of the intermediate deities, it's one of the lower deities. So any form of avatar it would have would be less powerful. But you also know that it is quite improbable that whatever is here is directly summoned by the god itself, like the direct will of the god. You think it's more likely that it's something that the Shahogans have conjured for, which inherently is like a lesser version of the original avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So your conjecture, essentially, from what you've gathered here, and especially the fact that the avatar just didn't kill you when you were there initially, it just
Yeah.
chased you. It's probably something they have conjured
Mm-hmm.
there with the aid of their deity somehow, but it isn't like the direct reflection of a god, like a
Yeah, okay.
proper avatar. You can maybe say it's like a creation in the likeness of their god.
Yeah. So it's like just a summoned version of an avatar.
You're not fighting like a demon lord level of difficulty here.
It's dangerous, but not as dangerous that.
Yeah. It can wreak havoc if it's left alone, but it is not insurmountable. Fight.
Okay. And I think we try to indeed slay the avatar-like creature. Is that all that we needed to prepare for, like, combat-wise or plan-wise for entering?
Um. Uh, AutoCant would say, as well, as you detail this plan, it might be a little difficult to secure the staircase leading to the second floor, but I'll see to that we send our forces rapidly in to secure them as quickly as possible. It's a battle against time as well. If we linger for too long, no telling what the avatar would do.
Yeah.
So we'll try to strike quickly. I'll have to reconsider some of our plans, but I will see it done.
It's as long as, like, basically as long as not a million forces come to disturb us when we're fighting the avatar. And then I think I'm okay with it. It's probably our best bet. Because they'll probably lose a lot of morale if their avatar creature is dead.
That is certainly the hope.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they would taste. I'm down to find out how they taste. Seems good. Um, I guess I'll leave the list folk to preparing then, because they need to stand properly prepare stuff still.
Yeah, AutoCant does take a leave. Minister Zorev, however, he stays with you.
Mm-hmm. Zip.
Saying, I've done my best to aid in the endeavors and forging this alliance, and it's going well. This is quite good. But I had other news to inform you as well.
Oh.
I've had. God, why can't I remember the names?
Names are hard.
There's so many. Yeah, Kaida. There we go. Had Kaida oversee the dragons the shamans keep, and it mostly seems okay for now. Haven't been able to learn much more about their ramblings. They keep to themselves, but I'm looking out if I find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna appreciate. I'm gonna assume our giant dragon appreciates that a lot if they're safe. So, but I'm glad to hear that there's at least some things going forward, and I hope the alliance actually works out if we end up going through with the war and winning it.
I hope so as well. The one thing I do know is the shamans are conducting a final prayer or a ritual later today. I'll have to aid them in their preparations, but I'll see if I can find out any information from them.
It's always appreciated, so that we can get our cat something back. Is there anything that we can do to help everyone here still at the moment?
I suppose you can help build morale, train those who still want the final little bouts before the coming day. Other than that, I think most is covered. Maybe be concerned about your involvement. Plan it out as well as you can. We are relying heavily on for this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do either of you two want to do anything at the moment?
You?
I guess we're training some people then.
Nice? Nice?
Yes, you can make a lizard archer fire at knees.
Yay!
You can help create like dummy legs so people can target the knees.
Yeah, I do that. Big red paint on the knees.
Yeah, their ranged weapons of choice are spears, so they're trading throwing spears at knees.
Wow, that's worse than an arrow to the knee.
or javelins in some cases they use javelins.
It sounds even worse in the knee. I love it.
A javelin is just like a really, really big arrow.
Basically.
So, yeah. In that case, we mingle about helping further some morale. Okay.
And then Lloyd went silent.
One moment.
That does not sound good.
A giant creature attacks the lizards.
Run for thingy majingy. Nah!
The rest of the evening go by. You help the people train, keep up morale as best as you can. There is nothing else you wish to do. Night comes. And people would take a rest, getting a good bit of rest before the coming assault the following day. You would notice throughout the day, 2 other vessels does show up and dock outside of the lair of the lizard folk. Vessels from Saltmarsh that would be used for transportation.
Yep.
It would not be your vessel, unfortunately, but other vessels they procure. If there's nothing else you wish to do for the day, you can take your rest.
If I had some time to go out, considering I stabbed a sword last time, I want to find like random wildlife that could be used as food anyways, and try staring at them the way that Mr. Dory did in some form.
Oh. You try to move your eye, twitch it a little bit.
Not like into my skull, but... No.
Fishy eye.
But assuming I felt the sense of the gaze, considering Nomos was right next to me before. Try to imitate as much as I can on something.
You try your best, but you're unable to cause anything but mild annoyance to yourself. And dizziness.
Oh.
As you try to intently focus with one eye and sort of jiggle it a little bit around. Nothing but dizziness and annoyance.
Alright. Lloyd just finds it funny.
The funny thing is, I know whatever is happening, right? But you don't know, and you're trying to figure it out. And it's really funny seeing
Hello,
what
gods.
random ideas just pop up. Good. How would you make something like that? Like what? Everything is underwater, so.
So we're attacking them. So it's hard to prepare like...
you can take with you nets to sort of cover an entrance or something like that, if that's what you want to do. Or you could just have nets as weapons, like you can throw nets at people and pin them to the ground, for instance, if you want to do that. I don't think you can remotely trigger them. No, you can't remotely trigger them. You can easily throw them underwater. Technically, it would be difficult to throw something, but for the purposes of this, yes, you can throw it as. You can throw it up to the range. I'll allow that. So. They have 1 charge each, so you have 10 uses of it. But you can't remotely trigger them. So what you could do with this, for instance, is if something is coming along a hallway, you can just chuck this in that direction. It will hit the creatures there and create like a cage in the corridor. But you can't remotely trigger it. You have to be nearby to do so.
Do you know how easy it is to break a cage like that, though?
I assume this is basically the item version of, is it called Otto's Irresistible Sphere? Cage. No. What's it called?
I find Otto's Irresistible Dance.
Resilient Sphere. There we go. Yeah, exactly the same description. Make an Arcana check. You have no idea how this magic works, but maybe you can figure it out.
I know how. If it pops up.
This is Otiluke's Resilient Sphere, but in an item version. So those type of barriers, they last for as long as it says, unless it is dispelled. It would require a level 4 dispel magic to break it, or a disintegrate spell. Any sort of force fields in general, force walls or something like that, can be hit by disintegrate, which is a 6th level spell or something like that. 7th level, 6th level, to destroy it. So it would last for the full minute, and people can't pass it. It's just a force wall. They would just bounce off it.
If something breaks it, it's strong or really magic-y.
It would only be magic that can break it.
Well,
you
yeah.
can't physically break it.
It's a really strong magic, is what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, funnily enough, they can actually move the sphere if they push against it, but that's about it. So they can sort of roll the ball.
Yeah, there can be a hamster and a ball.
Yeah, but they can't actually open it. If there are no other preparations you wish to do, you can find a place to rest, either inside of the lair or outside. It's up to you. There is even possibility of resting on some of the ships that arrived as well. You can find a place to rest for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to stay?
I guess probably a bed inside the lizard lair that they have ready, so... Or a place at least.
Okay, yeah, you can easily find a place inside of the full glare. You can pick one of the guard rooms to stay in. Easily enough done. Or you could stay with the giant lizards in the mud pool
Yes!
if you want to sleep with sleep there.
I sleep with the giant lizards.
Okay. So you somehow manage to not get eaten alive and sleep near the giant lizards.
They love me.
You have not with auto.
Sorek? Sorek, wasn't him? Said that
Yeah.
kinda looked on the dragons and saw that nothing really happened with them since we were gone. And the plan was that after the assault, if the shaman see that we're in goodwill and trust us, we can maybe try talking about that a bit more.
But you start your rest. um. Okay. So, as you rest up, you in particular, Eleanor, who's sleeping in the giant lizard mud pool. In the middle of your sleep, something suddenly lands on top of you, and something scratches on your chest, frantically.
Is it the giant lizard?
It's way too small for that.
Oh. Well, what is on top of me?
You look into the eyes of a pseudo-dragon. Who's frantically looking around, flapping with its wings and clawing at your chest.
Well, if it looks panicked, what's wrong? Need to do anything?
The moment you stand up, it flies up and directly through the corridor, heading eastward.
I guess I'll chase it.
It's about as if it's crashing into the side of the walls as it's too careless, flying quickly.
Well, if something, since it wants to show me something, I guess I'll start chasing it.
Okay. This is a pseudo-dragon, so it's not bubbles.
Yeah.
It's the red scaled one that doesn't have a fairy element to it.
No, it's not Kaida.
Yeah, so there's 4 dragons. You have Bubbles and Kaida, who are the fairy dragons, and you have 2 pseudo-dragons. And this is one of the pseudo-dragons. I have the name somewhere. Where on did I put the names? There's 2 names. I can't find it immediately.
Dragon 1 and Dragon 2.
Sorry, I can't find it immediately. I have it somewhere in my notes. But the pseudo dragon quickly drags you down to the southwestern side of the complex, heading into sort of the side of the ritual chamber or the temple they have near the vestibule where they had all this large sort of engraving and statue that placed on an altar leaning up against the wall. And as you get there, you see that there's a small gap in the wall where the hidden entrance led into the dragon area, as the pseudo dragon just skirts straight through the tiny gap, and then it lands on the ground, looking at you from inside.
Well, it's the gap that leads into the room with the secret entrance, right?
It flow through the secret entrance.
Yeah. I guess I'll look where it's landing or where it's trying to get me to get to. Assuming it's the secret entrance, so I'll try to find my way in. However, I have to get in.
You could make an investigation check if you want to try to figure out how the secret entrance works. You have no idea. There is a small gap in it.
I just feel like I could put my hand in it.
You can put your hand in it, yes.
Okay. Can I pull it in any way somehow?
You can try to pull it open if you want to. That's a strength check.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
athletics. Sorry, athletics. Try to break in.
Sneaky.
You try to sort of pull on the stone that makes up this secret entrance, but it just isn't quite budging.
Can you show me how to open it again, little dragon friend?
It flies through and then lands right on top of the altar and sort of start moving its head around, looking like something is missing on the altar.
Was there something previously on the altar?
Make a wisdom check to try to recall how they open the secret entrance. As you're standing here, what's your passive perception?
10.
10. You do remember they had one of the they had like this strange little sort of religious symbol, almost like a miniature skull of some kind that they had engraved with some of the symbolisms of their god, that they placed on top of the altar as the secret entrance open. It's not there.
Is there any in the room?
Quickly scour around. You don't see anything like that immediately.
Okay. Well, then I'll pick up one of my human skulls out of my bag and try placing that on top of it. Yeah, I didn't think of that, huh?
Well, as you place it down on the altar, it starts to shift a little bit as it moves slightly more open and then stops. As there's a slight more gap now, you can take like your shoulder through the gap at this point.
Okay. Well, since I know it's a bit more open, I'll try pushing it open a bit more again.
Okay, go for it.
Athletics still, I assume.
This time you hold on tight and you push with all of your might, and slowly but surely the gate pulls to the side, creaking against the stone that you move. And you're able to create a large enough opening for you to move through.
Time to squeeze on through.
As you squeeze through, you can see a little bit up ahead in the through the cavern that is mostly dark. There is a slight flicker of blue light, and you can hear the low humming of a chant.
I assume I see shades around the blue light then.
You can move a little bit closer, and as you creep around the corner and look in, you can see 3 figures standing in like a semicircle around a singular sort of built altar. Atop that altar, there is a shine of blue, slightly greenish light. It's a weird sort of mixture. And you can see that light sort of shines upwards, and then there's a strange sort of smoke that drifts down towards the central figure. That central figure, you notice, is the head shaman. You can notice it due to the regal nature that he's dressed. And the 2 others that stand on the side are other shamans you've seen before. And at the center of this light, and where this slight little bluish smoke drifts down from it, you see bubbles floating in the air. Not flying by any means, but literally just floating in the air. Frantically trying to move, but unable to.
As I look at the magic, is there any idea of which kind of magic?
It is... Let me check. Transmutation.
So it looks like they're trying to get power from bubbles onto the shaman.
Seems like it.
Still anything nearby small enough that I could throw like a tiny rock or something?
Yeah, you can find a tiny rock to throw.
I'll try throwing it through the magic.
You throw it past the head of the head chief shaman, and it just flies past and through the strange sort of movement of magic essence that floats underneath, where floats around where Bubbles is currently held aloft. Nothing appears to happen. And neither do the 3 shamans appear to be entirely attentive to even notice you threw something. As they're completely engrossed in their chanting.
Well, if it doesn't interrupt, I'll just move closer and see if I can. Assuming Bubbles probably is in pain, as far as I can understand pseudo dragons.
Bubbles looks like they're in panic at this point. No idea what's going on.
Okay. I'll just move up to the shaman and ask what the fuck he's up to. Because this doesn't seem like anything that should be happening.
As you move closer, you can now get a much better look at what's on the altar, because the chief shaman was standing in front of it, so you weren't able to see it from your vantage point. On the altar itself, is the helmet that you got for Othokent, the Helm of Semuyu. It's sort of like a relic of their god. This gem-encrusted, beautifully crafted and feathered helmet, or like a crown almost. For a reference in sort of the general look of it, it looks splendid and similar to a Helm of Splendor, the actual item in D&D. It isn't made of metal, but it sort of gives a general depiction of the sort of regality of it.
Yeah.
And floating slightly above it is this strange sort of flickering greenish shard. You don't quite know what it is, but it could be like glass or maybe a small gemstone or something, but it's pulsating with power, and you can feel the power pulsate even as you get closer. And the shaman, the chief shaman, as you stand next to him, you can see parts of his skin begin to change and alter, completely engrossed in whatever ritual that is currently going on, seemingly unattentive to you at all. Do you speak Draconic? I don't think. No. Unfortunate, you do not understand what they're saying.
Shadow does.
Shadow is sleeping somewhere.
Okay, so you're
seriously.
you're busy stealing. Okay.
Well, if they're not paying attention, I'll just try and grab Bubbles.
Okay. As you go to grab Bubbles, you can feel the magical essence here fight against your will as it starts to burn and singe your flesh. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Question: is this considered a spell?
This would be considered a spell, yes.
Do you assume I'm attuned still? Or am I attuned already, is my question.
Yes, you would have more than enough time to attune to the item.
Okay.
So you can have chosen to attune if you wanted to. Okay. So you suffer half damage. So you suffer 5 points of force damage. As you're trying to grab hold of it through this sort of burning light. Okay, in that case, I need you to make a... Well, I suppose, what would you try to do?
Try to pull, like, try to block as much as I can and pull Bubbles out of it.
In that case, you can choose athletics or acrobatics of your choice.
Okay. Yoink.
As you leap up over the altar and grab hold of Bubbles, you can feel the magical essence is much more intense, and it sort of changes your skin a bit, even if you don't necessarily notice it, making it slightly scale. And you grab hold of Bubbles and tumble out of it as there is a hissing sound as the light erupts in this tiny, or not tiny, but this sort of like explosion of energy as you disrupted whatever was going on, as there's a shockwave that pushes both of the shaman off their feet, and you tumble down on the ground, clutching onto Bubbles. you suffer 11 more points of force damage. In addition to these shamans as well. They're shoved off their feet. And as you turn around and look more properly at at the shaman, you can see its skin almost like boils and changes, and its shape twists, and it becomes longer and longer, like it becomes taller in a way, sort of stretched out. Its form sort of distorted and changed. The shaman.
Stab him in the knee. No. Just does it seem like something else than the lizard folk at this point as well? I'm gonna assume.
It looks odd. It seems like it's in the middle of some strange transformation. Make an Arcana or Nature check. Choice. It appears to mimic some form of. It has a similar essence in it to some elements of polymorph or more powerful transformation spells like Alter Self. But it appears very very intertwined with more divine nature to magic than necessarily arcane.
Yeah.
It's odd. The sort of essence of the magic is what very different from what you would expect for any such form of transformation spells. You haven't seen anything of the sort before. Quite obviously so. But you do think, as you stare at the shaman, that suddenly sort of stops in this midway transition of a transformation. It looks almost snake-like in a way. It's very odd. It's like this strange sort of change of a lizard folk, like a humanoid form, into this longer sort of snake-like creature.
The lizard folk didn't revere like a snake god, did they?
Get religion check.
Oh my god.
What did you? What did you say?
Me?
No, Shadow. What did you say? It appears like the transformation is stopped midway. So it's this strange sort of middle stage. You do not know of any snake gods, no? From your knowledge, there is only really one lizard folk god, with this Samuya, however you pronounce the name. And that is a lizard folk god. Its form is a lizard folk. It is the prime deity of lizard folk.
Yeah.
You would also know that with that role, the god is usually very distant. It rarely, if ever, does anything for anyone in the mortal plane. In some cases, it's even a miracle that you can be a priest to the god.
Okay.
With how little it interacts with the outside world.
So, by my understanding, since this is divine, and knowing that the god barely interacts, they're not revering the lizard folk god, are they?
That is one way of looking at it, yes. But as you sit there and try to hold on to Bubbles, Bubbles is frantically fighting to get out of your grip.
I mean, just make sure he looks like he's okay, or she's okay. And then if she wants to be free, I'll let her free.
Yeah, you let her go and she flies up and turns invisible and vanishes. She's gone.
Okay. I'm gonna assume the desert priests, shamans have noticed me now, at least.
Yeah, you can see two of them are looking really angry at you.
Two of them. So the other one is just still confused.
The third one is more in a... you would imagine it probably isn't... you would imagine that it's probably rather painful to be halfway transformed, like partway transformed, as they're kind of dealing with whatever side effects of the ritual being interrupted.
Okay. I'll back up. I'll just stand up and back up slowly towards where I came in from.
That would be the opposite side of where we currently are.
Oh God.
So...
Well, I had no idea I was flown the opposite way, in fairness.
Yeah, so you entered, you stood behind the chief shaman, and in front of him was the altar, and then you tried to grab hold of... So either you're on the opposite side of the room, or you're in the middle of the room. Right between all of them. Yeah.
Do they look like they're going to be hostile more than anything?
They start shouting to you in Draconic, and one of them raises their staff, and it twists with these vines that sort of grow up along it, and it goes to move the staff towards you.
Okay.
What do you do?
I throw a fluff ball at it, and it transforms into a panther.
A panther, okay. So the panther apparates right on top of them then, I suppose, as they release a spell aimed towards you. The ground around you suddenly starts to move a little bit as plants shoot out from the ground and goes to grab hold of you with these thorns. Thorny vines. I need you to make a strength saving throw, and you can do whatever you want with the panther.
Assuming this also counts as a spell.
It counts as a spell.
Good God, I'm happy I got a spell.
That's a success. You're not restrained.
My panther will attempt to just distract / knock them down again.
The panther can choose to do a knockdown attack if they want to. Yeah. So in that case,
you can just roll for the panther because I don't have the stats on me anyways.
Okay. Yeah. So it makes a strength check against the shaman.
Nice. Even nicer.
So the panther spawns and pounces on top of the shaman and shoves it to the ground, sort of standing on top of it. Okay. I think at this point, it would be prudent to roll initiative.
I was trying to get out, not fight some shamans.
Everybody roll initiative?
It depends on where you are. So if you would be sleeping, no. Shadow, you're about stealing stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Snooping about.
Admiring with stuff in my pocket.
Make a perception check. You have a base of 17, right, for your passive.
I'm sleeping.
Unfortunately.
I'm using Droop as a teddy bear. Yum 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 yum.
Yeah. You would have noticed as you were snooping out about that there is some commotion coming from nearby where you were currently snooping about, which was near the shaman quarters. You hear some commotion coming off from nearby. So it's up to you if you want to do anything. You can roll initiative as well if you want, Shadow.
If you want. I don't know.
Okay. You can hear some commotion. You can hear a explosion coming off nearby. What do you choose to do? It's technically you're up first. Do you want to do anything, or do you just want to continue snooping about? You hear an explosion. And you can hear some muffled draconic that's a little bit too far away for you to make out what's being said. You can make your way over there spending your... You would effectively need to spend like 80 feet of movement or something, which is your bonus action and movement, or feline agility plus movement. You'll get there. So you sneak your way in through the partially open secret entrance to the dragon lair. And inside you can see 3 shamans, one on the ground with a panther on top of it. You can see a Elemenor that is probably have stood up from the ground at this point. On the opposite side, or in the middle of these 3. And the shaman that's right in front of you having this strange sort of contorted, elongated form that looks way too painful. Do you want to do? You can see like there's some thorny vines that's thrashing about trying to grab hold of Elemenor, but he's strong enough to sort of break them. When they try to grab him. So it's up to you if you want to read it as aggressive or not. Yeah, you can sneak attack. You have advantage. They haven't seen you. So if you want to, you can.
Stabbing.
So there's 3 of them. 3 of them. So you have the chief shaman, and then you have the 2 other shamans that are Who did you want to hit? He's the one that has been transformed, partially. So, from your vantage point, it's difficult to tell. The entire situation just looks really tense. Okay, you shoot at one of the other shamans. Okay, yeah, the one that's standing upright. That definitely hits, yes. So you can roll damage for that. You can choose to use sneak attack if you want to. The shaman stands there and gets hit by a crossbow bolt, sort of wobbles a bit and collapses dead on the ground immediately. You still have your bonus action. Okay, yeah, you can move a little and hide. Make a stealth check. At this point, Eleanor, you just see the shaman fall over, and then you hear something crash against the wall on the opposite side of the room, making some noise. Then let's see this. How does it work?
Why does everyone in my party with a bow murder people?
Not people, vernis.
The shaman that's on the ground, he dismisses the entanglement spell he tried to cast, and instead holds up his staff and sort of pushes it against the ground in this sort of really awkward way because he's being pinned to the ground. And a green light shimmers from his staff, and suddenly, magically apparating around him are 4 crocodiles.
Ah. Yeah. If you don't intend to kill, use like the nubbed shortbow bolts. Crossbow bolts. They're shamans. We found them when we were level 5 or something.
Oh, those wolves were nasty. If you're thinking of the acid wolves.
When
But yeah,
just growls in his sleep.
summons these crocodiles that then go attacking your panther.
Aha!
Did I add the panther? No, I did not add the panther. Yes. So the crocodiles just goes to it.
It hits.
And then the second crocodile attacks as well.
Hits.
Hits. And eats up the panther.
And it
So
tastes
the-
like nothing.
Yeah, and then it just poofs out of existence. So those are those 2 crocodiles. Then it's you, Eleanor. What do you want to do?
Is the crown still there in front of me?
Yeah, it's on top of the altar, and you can see this this strange little shard or something that was pulsating in the air. It is still slightly there, but it's erratic in its light.
I wonder what
it's still-
interrupted it.
It still floats there.
Does the crown look like it's sturdy enough if I throw it and it would hit the floor? It would not break.
It probably wouldn't break.
It's the opposite side of the room where I probably heard Shadow, so I'm gonna assume that I only know one person.
You can easily get there if you just move. You can move out of this room if you
Oh,
want.
okay.
Yeah,
Then I'll take
it would
the
just
crown.
cause like attacks of opportunity unless you take the disengage action.
I'll pick up the crown, disengage, move towards the entrance, and shove the crown into the cat's hand that I probably noticed.
Yeah, you just walk straight into the cat and just shove it into her hands.
I think this is Octoken's, so don't steal it. And then I'll just... and then I'll ask again, like, what the fuck were you guys doing here? And now I have a translator behind me.
The the shaman that's on the ground calls out, "You traitors! Traitors against Asilis! You'll pay for your indolence."
Sorry, Asilis?
Yeah, Asilis.
That's not the lizard god. Assuming Shadow tells me Asilis.
Yeah, it's a word you don't know how to translate, so it's a name.
So, okay. Wait, so if it's not translated, I would have heard the word Asilis as well.
Yeah, you would have heard the name, but it doesn't have a common translation. It's a name.
Do I have any idea what that is? And it's the last of my turn, I guess. So.
Make a religion check again.
Yeah.
You have advantage this time because you know some more information.
Okay, well.
Roll once more. No, the name escapes you. You don't know what it is.
Okay. But I know it's not the lizard folk god.
It's
probably...
not Simuyu, no.
Yeah.
Simuanio. However you pronounce it. I can't even pronounce. Some of these names are so difficult. Semuania. Semuania. Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
In that case, that ends your turn.
Yep.
And it is the crocs. The crocodiles lumber their way over towards you as slow as they are. And go to bite you.
So cute.
Nom. Nom.
Look at them trying.
Yeah, they try. They move really slowly, and then when they get to your feet, they just sort of do a rapid bite against it, and you sort of kick them away.
That's my reaction. I want to pat the crocodile.
Sure, you can try to pet it.
I'll pet the crocodile.
Then the the chief shaman turns around and sort of moves its elongated form slightly downwards so it can see you properly, and reaches out with what remains of its hand and releases a spell towards you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. And you have advantage because it's a spell. As you feel your body is about to freeze up, you manage to shake off the effect. You're not considered paralyzed. But yeah, that ends its turn. Shadow, what do you want to do?
You can't run. Just Bring it back to the queen. A 1. A 1 plus.
They know you're there. You failed the stealth check. You can still get sneak attack as there's no, because you don't get it when they're alone on a ranged attack.
But I'm next to the crocodiles.
Yeah, you can get sneak attack on the crocodiles. Yes. That definitely hits. Yes. One of the crocs.
I don't think that croc is no more.
They can survive hits. Do you want to use sneak attack on it? Yeah, that croc is nowhere. Almost killed it 2 times.
Yeah, I don't think
As it just poofs out of existence with a single stab.
Hey, that's familiar.
As it was being conjured. Do you want to do anything else on your turn? Yes, you can do. Yes, you can. It's only 2 crocs that was in melee range of you, so easily. That definitely hits, yes. 7 points of damage to it. As it looks decently wounded from just that single slash. And then you can run away quite far if you want to. It's up to you. Okay, you'll go around the corner. Let's see. This. So the shaman that summoned the crocodiles lashes out with its hand, and a vine grows out of it and moves towards you, Illuminor, as it casts Thorn Whip. Has to make its spell attack. Yes, 30 feet range. Spell attack. Where is its spell attack? It has +4. That hits.
Question.
You suffer 7 points of damage from it.
Okay, never mind.
7 points of piercing damage, and you are pulled 10 feet closer to it. So you're currently in melee range with the 2 other crocs as well.
Okay.
So you're pulled slightly into the room. As the 2 other crocs to bite at you. As it doesn't seem like any of the people that are here are interested in any form of de-escalation.
I haven't hit anyone once.
It's your turn. What do you want to do?
trying to think more of it. All lizard folk revere the lizard folk god, right? Usually.
Yes, all of them. It is their deity.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll attempt to knock prone the shaman that pulled me close.
Okay, yeah.
Assuming I'm also in melee range with him.
Yeah, you can take a 5-foot step and be in melee range with him.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
I'll attempt to knock him out, not prone, I mean.
knock
without
him
killing.
unconscious.
Yes.
Okay. So you just bop him with the hilt of your blade or something.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
I assume this is a normal attack roll.
Yeah, so essentially, in that case, you do, instead of 2d6 damage for your blade, you do like a d6. As you try to bop it with the handle. That definitely hits.
Just a
Then-
d6?
Yeah, d6 plus your strength modifier.
Speak quickly.
And +1 because it's a magical weapon. So,
So that should be +6.
okay, so 11 points of damage, and it has to make a Constitution saving throw. The crocodiles vanish as he drops concentration. Wasn't able to concentrate as you bop him on the head with the hilt of the blade.
I bop him again.
Okay.
No, I hit myself apparently.
A 15 does hit.
Got. Assuming I get 200 mastery, it turns into a 2. So, 8.
8 points. Still alive. But probably has a heavy concussion at this point.
As my bonus action, I'll tell him he can stop attacking. I'm trying to knock him unconscious.
He responds in Draconic. He speaks Draconic. And says, "You're interfering with our divine right of existence. Stand down."
Divine right of existence. Okay.
You do know, with your previous religion checks, one of the prime tenets of Sembuiania, the lizard folk god, is the preservation of their species. The singular most important tenet in their religion is to live.
Yeah.
So they do consider their continued existence, both individually but also as a group, a tribe, to be a sacred right and something they must uphold. That is the one sole thing they work towards.
So that is aligned to what usual lizard folk would want, but their god is different. Okay. Oh. My turn is over anyway, so.
We have so much to do.
The yeah, you can. Or rather, did you say you are in danger or not in danger? I didn't. Not endangered. Okay.
Endangered.
Am I just really stupid?
Endangered.
They're not in danger. Is that what you're saying, or they're not at the risk of extinction?
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Okay. Okay. The chief shaman just turns around and goes to grab the thing that's floating in the air, the strange sort of shard
Mm-hmm.
that was floating. Goes to grab hold of it, and it starts to glow more frantically as you can feel heat emanating from within the room. And well, that's unfortunate. Where's the
Speak quickly.
wisdom save?
Either means he failed on killing us, or he failed on someone else.
Or he's just coming.
You can see the light starts to shine much more brighter, and the light sort of coalesces into this orb of energy that just shatters outwards, and this massive explosion hits against the shaman that gets thrown into the wall, heavily bleeding from wounds as it from the forceful impact, and just sort of collapses there, kind of stunned, not unconscious, but stunned, and this strange little moat isn't there anymore. And you can see the hand of the lizard folk is singed, like the scales of it. And
Speak quickly.
that's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that does look a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. It's Shadow's turn. You would essentially have advantage to try to tie him up if you wanted to. You can do so if you want to. Make an athletics check. Because you have to grapple him. You have to grapple him before you tie him up. And he only has a +2, so I don't think he will beat you. No, you can grapple hold of him, so he's unable to move. And then you spend your action to just tie him up with some rope. You can start that process, yes. It's going to take some time to turn him into a literal mummy, given how tall he is. Yeah, because he's really long. It's going to take some time, but you can work on it.
Can we cook it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't want to cook the lizard snake.
Tastes
The
like
other
chicken.
the other shaman uses his cantrip to sort of pull you away with Dawn Whip, away from tying up Chief Shaman. So that's a +4. And misses. Unable to do anything to stop it, as they... Yeah, he seems a little bit... he seems not to be quite there at the moment, given the amount of times he got hit in the head. Yeah, and I believe that's him unconscious. Yeah, he's unconscious. As you just bop him on the head again, and he falls unconscious on the ground.
Well, that's one. Do I spy any of the pseudo or fairy dragons in the room?
They're all gone. You
Okay.
don't spy any.
Well, let's get out of here once you're done tying this lizard snake up. I'll just stay in the room and ponder about Elysia's or whatever the name was.
He does continue to resist. In that case, on his turn, he he summons forth from his head this image of a sort of giant lizard folk that bites down towards Shadow. I need Shadow to make a dexterity saving throw. But yeah, outside of this, he doesn't have much to do. Yeah. Evasion. Yeah, you take no damage. Yeah. He tries to bite down on you, but you avoid it. And at this point, he doesn't have anything left in him to stop you from tying him up. Yeah, you can slap him if you want to. You can see he kind of just writhes in pain. And that is all he's able to do as you tie him up easily enough. So you have one knocked unconscious, one bleeding out and is dead, and the third one is tied up.
Well, I guess we can just leave the room and probably close the secret door. Most likely go warn the queen. I guess maybe or Sorek.
If when you're about to leave, you would hear that a random patrol would be nearby. They're sort of investigating what on earth is even happened. They heard the strange sort of explosions, right? But they don't know where to explore at the moment. So it's up to you if you want to do anything in particular as you see this patrol coming.
I'll just wait till they pass by.
Wait till they pass by. Do you make any attempt to hide the entrance at all? Or do you let them pass by into the chamber that you came from?
I mean, can I hide the entrance?
You could if you want to. You do have some time, which is why I ask.
Yeah, then I'll just try to hide the secret entrance, I guess.
Yeah, you could try to sort of close it by pulling it shut if you want to.
Yeah.
It was partially open because Eleanor opened it.
I opened it in a different way than intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just wait till Shadow gets out and then I'll close it.
Wait, so Shadow, do you take with you the shaman or do you leave him there? In that case, you would not be able to close off the entrance before Shadow would exit it, if you wanted to stop the patrol from going there. Because Shadow would have to spend some time tying it entirely up with all of the rope. With like the 300 feet of rope. With or without him? You take him with you. Okay. So you drag him with you out, and at this point, the patrol would have stopped near you unless you closed the door.
Guess if I see Shadow being busy, I'll just close the door for now, yeah?
Okay, so you close the door. And they sort of look around. One of them goes up to you and speaks in really, really broken common, and asks if you heard any commotion.
I think a bit further away from here.
Any direction you heard it from?
I know it's really vague. I was looking around too, considering I was sleeping with the giant lizards before.
We'll try heading eastward then. See if we can see anything there. And then
Okay.
they head out. Back the way they came, eastward. Towards the temple, essentially. So for the reference of the map.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
So for reference, you're now on in the southern side here, in the vestry, and to the east of it is the temple. There is a doorway that leads into the temple, and they headed back out and go through the main entrance into the table. Looking.
The map you're on.
It's this one.
I have so much to do.
This is Folk 1.
Yeah, this is for 1 players. One of the million maps that I have open right now. Okay, yeah. So you're down here then, in that room. So where did you want to head? Yes, you do know where the Queen's Chambers is. It's to the east of the temple, so you can place a circle. No, that's a code. Okay. It's there.
A circle.
It's almost a circle.
It's an eighth of a circle.
So that's where the... last you've seen here, there are 2 guards stationed outside of the chambers. The door is closed. When you were sneaking about, it was... You didn't try the door because there were guards there, if I recall correctly. So you don't know if it's locked. Okay, so you sneak your way over there. You are able to just barely avoid the guards that went into the temple. Currently looking inside there. But there are currently 1 guard that are standing here. It's one of their scale shields, one of their more elite soldiers. That eye you as you approach. Sort of holding out their hand to stop you. Here? Aren't you going to the Queen's quarters? What other door? You were down here.
Yeah,
that door leads into the temple, and inside of the temple there is another patrol that's searching for whatever was happening. And there is, where I placed the circle here, there is 1 guard. It's impossible to get to the Queen's quarters without going through a guard, as far as you know. this isn't. This is like a small side religious chamber. All of the chambers on the west side here are shaman quarters. So to west of where shaman.
And this way is the secret room, I guess.
Yes. No, you went out of it. Or have I completely misunderstood what you wanted to do?
Well, yeah, I closed this door on the left of you because you were still in the secret room. So I had to close the door because you were trying to drag the snake guy through the secret entrance. No. Yeah,
No, the secret room isn't on the map.
my green cone is the secret room.
I have so much to do.
I'm assuming that's what I originally intended, but you were like, I'm dragging him through the door.
Okay.
There's one corpse, one unconscious, and one roped up.
Yeah, you're gonna loot the mummy.
Okay. You. It's gone. As well. All of the
What red
dragons appear
dragon?
to be gone. You would rummage through some of their equipment. What you would find would be their like symbols of power, like how they channel magic. You would also find some spell components jumbled about, and you would also find a couple of notes, some letters, some books, things that they were just carrying on them or had nearby. Okay. So you Eleanor, you then head towards.
I want to see. Sorik is a bit further away, right?
Yeah, Soriv is on the second. He's right next to where you are placed on the second.
Because
Where
he
the
might have
square
more
is.
information than the queen does. So I want to head to him first.
Okay. Yeah, you can head your way over to Soriv. And once you get over there, you can hear the as you get over, you can hear the door open up.
Oh,
Just open up of its own accord.
okay. I guess I'll enter.
You can feel if something flies past you.
That feels like the pseudo dragon, I guess.
Yeah, but you can't see anything.
Yeah, it just
Probably
feels familiar.
invisible. Flown past you. Inside, you don't see Mr. Soriv in his main chamber here. He has his bed chamber behind from a closed door on the opposite end of the chamber.
I'll see if he's in there.
Open up the door and you can see that he's sleeping inside of his chambers.
I'll try to gently wake him up.
He's a little slow to wake up, but eventually just looks up towards you. That's a face I didn't expect to see.
Yeah.
Let's
Is
see.
it earlier you were helping the shamans or something? Did you know what they were planning to do?
They were going to pray for our well-being, our safety, our travels, get the spirits of nature on our side.
Does praying for well-being mean turning one of them into a snake?
A snake?
A snake.
I'm sorry, no.
Do you know anything of the word Elisis?
That is a name I haven't heard in a long, long time.
Can I have a slight understanding what Elisis is?
It
Because I think the shamans were praying to Elisis.
oh. Elysius is the elder deity of the lizard folk. In the ancient times, when we lizard folk were first created, we were the offspring of our prime deity Elysius, the world serpent, and they have lost sway over the many years, and Simuyu has taken over as the prime deity of the lizard folk. It's incredible you even came across this name. It hasn't been uttered in eons.
Is there anything wrong with Elisis?
No, it is, but I would say one of our prime deities in proud history. But I can't say anyone has been able to get any contact with Elysius in a great long time.
Well, I think your shamans figured out how to do that. But we kind of interrupted them because it seemed like it was hurting Bubbles.
How?
They had like the crown of your queen, some green shard, and Bubbles was trapped in some green-blue magic.
Oh, I did help them at least get a hold of the helmet, because it is one of our prime artifacts of Simoyu. It is what we use to channel our prayers. It is a sacred artifact.
Yeah,
But I can't recall any shard. No.
and I was sleeping and I kind of got waken up by one of the pseudo dragons because they seemed in a real panic about what was happening. And then I found them doing some weird ritual chanting with Bubbles. I kind of broke them out of it, and now the head shaman is kind of like stuck between half lizard and half snake.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Well, it's no time for idle chatter. He just stands up immediately.
I'll
Um, where are they? Where are they?
the secret room. Also,
Okay.
I think one of the shamans died because I think my party member didn't understand that arrows are painful.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! And he just starts heading out of the room.
Yeah.
Seem in complete distress at this point.
I'll chase
This-
after him.
This. Oh no. I don't know what to do, but I need to speak with them now.
Yeah, they're in the secret room, so.
You eventually hear some footsteps approaching you, Shadow, as you're scouring through some of the things they had on them. You can find some of the notes or books they had were scriptures of Eld, an ancient tome detailing some of the prayers and sort of dogma or whatever you want to call it regarding Elysius, the prime lizard folk deity from at this point centuries ago. It is so long since anyone has even revered this god. But you do find some notes depicting or describing some of the reverence of said god. And the reference to what can only be described as the Great Serpent. You can find that littered throughout the text as well. But eventually, Mr. Zore steps in and looks at the, well, now dead form of one of the shamans, the unconscious form of the other, and the rope cocoon mummy, whatever you want to call it. I need to speak with him now. Sort of looks up to the mummy that you that you have roped in.
I think he can unwrap his head at least, Shadow.
Mr. Zorev just looks at this sort of strange, malformed form, this lizard folk that he currently is now, and then says, "What, what exactly were you planning here? I helped you procure some of this, but I was not told this detail of it. This is a great danger to all of us. What have you done?" And the the shaman sort of groans a bit in pain and says, "To protect our kin, to defend against the outside evils. I sought powers of Eld. They stopped me. Outsiders are at fault. Heretics." As it follows up and says, "Even you would know the powers of Eld the Serpent." Sort of just shakes his head. You're too blinded by your dogma. You can't see past anyone else. You can't see what we have built, what we're trying to achieve. Where you see enemies, and he sort of points towards the two of you that are here. I see allies and friends. You've put that in jeopardy here today. But it's not my judgment to make. You will answer for your crimes. If they even are that. And he sort of goes over and picks up some of the notes that you were rifling through. And says, "This is a delicate matter. Must discuss this with the Queen and... oh, only the Queen. For now."
Yeah. Should I come along?
Probably for the best. to
Yeah.
have somebody that saw this firsthand.
Well, let's go to the queen then. And
Make sure it doesn't do anything stupid again. And we must find a way to solve this. And he just looks at the strange form of the shaman. He can't stay like this.
yeah.
No one deserves that. And he heads back with you towards the queen's chambers. And I think we can stop here for today. So we pick up next week.
Yeah.
Whatever outcome occurs from the strange thing that just occurred.
The mummy, the returns.
Like this, like, oh no, I forgot he had human skulls on.
No, that was a really cool way of. So, I approve. But we'll pick up next week to see what happens.
Yeah.
Rich from my blood. Next
What?
Friday, I'll be back.
Just a BRB.
I'm going, so
Toilet.
take care.
Okay. See you both. See you soon.